best place to live now and for generations to come. Connect and collaborate. Weekdays from 4 to 5 p.m. right here on Denver's Money Talk 1690 and MoneyTalk1690.com.
You're listening to the Experience Pros radio show, the most positive business talk show in America. Best-selling authors of Lists That Saved My Business and founders of the Extreme Customer Service Directory, Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer, are inspiring you to get your business right. They know the customer experience isn't just another thing, it's the only thing. Let's join Angel and Eric for today's program.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Experience Pros radio show. Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer helping you get your business right by reminding you that small business is big business. Your business is our business. How do you do?
I'm doing fantastic.
Are you ready for your next leg of the journey?
The next leg of the journey, yes, I am. I'm heading to San Diego for the Small Business Expo. If you'll recall, I was just in LA, and yes, right before that, Phoenix, and yes, right before that, Chicago. It's been kind of a whirlwind.
And just before that, Denver.
Yes,
yes. You've been to so many of these different events, and tell our listeners what you're doing out there. You're speaking, right?
I am speaking. I told my husband, I said, it's like the circus. The Small Business Expo is an event that's going on all over the country, and about every 2 to 3 weeks, they land in a different city across America. And we've met them and connected with them when they came through Denver back in June. It's an all-day expo event. It starts with a VIP breakfast. They've got speakers and presenters and workshops and panels going on all day long, all this activity to keep people engaged, incredible sponsors. And when they were here, I sat in on a couple of the workshops. They had great vendor booths and lots of fun giveaways, lots of fun activities all day long. And I love this kind of stuff. Sure. I love being out, meeting people, shaking hands, getting to know people face to face. And it's incredible networking. Plus, then they have this thing where you put a sticker on depending on the color of your industry.
Yeah.
So you can connect with people who have the same color sticker as you.
That's cool.
They have speed networking events. They also have time of day where you come and actually do this industry collaboration.
Nice.
And all day long. It is just
And how much does it cost for people to attend?
It's free.
It's free.
It's free. But I know if you're like me and you think, okay, well, I'm going to go to this thing. I'm going to spend a couple of hours.
No.
You want to spend all day long here. So I connected with them back in June when they came through in Denver, and they were looking for speakers and presenters to be at their workshops. And specifically, they were looking for women speakers because they have a very male-centric panel, and they know there's a lot of women in business, but they didn't have a whole lot of women on their speaking panel. So I raised my hand and said, I think I'm a woman. I think I speak, and I think I want to do this. This is our target audience.
You got moved to the head of the class because you had 4,000 hours of broadcast behind you.
That didn't hurt. That didn't hurt. Right? And so I did a little schmoozings, and yes, we've got 4,000 hours. I've interviewed over 5,000 people on the radio. Yeah. And Bill says, "Come along. We need somebody to talk about that." So I jumped on board, and here's the balancing act, because we're growing Experience Pros and we're growing our national brand.
Right.
So somebody's got to still stay here and do the radio.
Doing my best.
Right. And even today or last night I got a call and like, Angel, can you come to this other thing next week? This speakers camp. Like, I got a job to do. I can leave Eric, a few days a week, but I'm pretty sure after a while they're going to go,
Eric's still in the room.
Right? So thank you. You've done a tremendous job, a valuable job. But I'm going out to San Diego. Nice. If you know anybody in San Diego, the Small Business Expo, completely worth your while. In fact, I met a gal who came to the Los Angeles Expo. Yeah. Of course, her first one, so she didn't really know what to expect. And she says, Angel, I'm driving to San Diego, and I'm going to go through more of those panels, more of those workshops, because there was a lot of great stuff there.
It is such a big event, and there's so much good things to mine if you know what you're looking for and what you want to try to accomplish, and so many people to network with. Folks, small business is alive and well.
And excited, absolutely. So I don't believe in accidents. I think that everything kind of has a reason for it. I don't necessarily look for signs, but I just kind of believe when a door opens and an opportunity comes your way, it's not an accident.
Yeah.
And I think that when we think about the path that we're supposed to be on and that people have probably come into your world, opportunities have shown up, and you tend to dismiss them. Our friend Gary Barnes was traveling today, and he actually had to reschedule his flight. There were some delays. So instead of going through Dallas, I think he ended up going through South Carolina.
Right. He
says, on an American airline flight, he says, I met a flight attendant. Her name is Brandy. He wrote a book, and it's called something about the beaver. Everything I needed to know. I learned from the beaver, right? Mm-hmm. So he had his book that he wrote, laying on the seat next to him that was vacant, which I think is a very
subtle and brilliant.
Subtle move and brilliant move on Gary's part. But the flight attendant thought it was cute. And then she realized it was him, Gary, on the cover, and wanted to know where she could buy the book. Well, he carries extras, and he said he would give her one, and she was really excited, and she gave him this great big hug, and all, just all this great connection.
Right.
When he was getting off the flight, she asked if they could have a picture together. She had already read half of the book on the plane, shared it with the other flight attendants, and here's what she said. It was exactly what she needed today. And remember, this was not the flight that Gary was originally scheduled to be on. Our friend Kevin Knebel, who does a lot of traveling, he says nothing bad ever happens in travel. You might get a delay, you might get reschedules, things might get shifted around, but you're always right where you're supposed to be. And this was one of those messages of Gary thought, here's my plan, here's my itinerary, this is where I'm going, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Right. Something
shifted, puts him on a whole different flight. He ends up connecting with this flight attendant, which was exactly what she needed that day. Serendipity, is the word that comes to mind when I read something like this.
Right.
When I think about us being in Denver for the Small Business Expo, we weren't originally scheduled to be there.
No.
But Biz Talk Radio, who's our syndicate, they have a booth. They sponsor all these Small Biz Expos. And said, Eric and Angel, can you host our booth while you're in Denver?
And simultaneously, maybe serendipitously, our home network here, KDMT, also got a booth at the Small Biz Expo.
And we were able to live broadcast from the Biz Expo.
Right.
And we interviewed Bill Walsh, who's the titanium sponsor of the event.
Yep.
And, and we just clicked and connected. And so I wanted to, I kind of just felt a pull. Like, okay, I'm supposed to go and sit in on this workshop, and I think I should be over here. And then, I get a phone call from his assistant a couple of weeks later and said, Angel, we want you in Chicago. You do? Okay, it was not on my agenda. Right. And in fact, I can't be gone the whole 4 days, but I can give you this 2-day window because I'm going on another trip. And it just kind of worked out. It worked out like every step of the way. It worked out. I was having lunch. My husband and I end up in Chicago.
Right.
We're sitting at before we go to the workshop that I'm going to crash the end of that day's workshop. And so I'm just starving. Let's go grab a sandwich from the restaurant bar. And so we're sitting at the counter, chatting with the bartender. We're just eating our sandwiches. And I'm telling her, I'm here to meet this guy, Bill Walsh, because I want him to invite me to be on his speaking team.
Right.
And she's fascinated by that. And so you're just here and you're hoping you're going to meet him. I'm like, yep, that's the plan.
Strategy.
I came here. My goal is to meet him. I want to be put on his speaking team. So we're talking. And in the meantime, I noticed some activity going on behind me.
Right.
They are setting up a long banquet table to, for a big group of people to come in and have lunch.
Okay.
And I look and I see that on each table, on each place setting is, each person's name. And I saw Bill W.
Oh.
And then I saw Cheryl, who had invited me to come. I saw Cheryl B. And I said, they're going to come right here and sit right behind me for their lunch.
Talk about serendipitous.
Serendipitous.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of giddy. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to meet him right here. But I don't know if he'll remember me. I don't want to interrupt their lunch. And I don't really have a plan of action. But I turn my body and I'm watching just as Bill is walking into the restaurant.
Right.
I turn and look at him and he sees me from across the room and we made eye contact and he just beelined it straight for me. He remembered me from Denver. We connected and, it was this amazing story.
And now
here I am on his speaking
team.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Not a coincidence, right?
Not a coincidence. Definitely serendipitous. And reminds me of the Thomas Jefferson quote, the quote that's usually attributed to Thomas Jefferson. And he says, I'm a great believer in luck. I find the harder I work, the more I have of it.
Right.
And that's exactly what, you've got in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, meeting the right people, and it worked out well.
But here's why it worked, is I took action.
Yep.
Here's why this worked for Gary. He took action.
That's right.
And he carries his book. He puts them on the table, on the seat next to him, on the vacant seat. He has extras that he can give away, and he's approachable, right? He took action. When I was in Denver and I saw Bill and I just felt this tug, I went and sat in on his workshop. I flew to Chicago so I could have lunch and hope to just meet him. You've got to, serendipity happens when you take action.
That's it right there. Shout out to Dennis and Dan out in Dallas, and thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back right after these messages. It's coming up on travel season, and we got one of the directors of Travelocity to give us direction. Back after this.
You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show, America's home for positive business talk.